right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to work on gluing the next page in our interactive binders. So you're going to look in your green folder. You're looking for a white piece of paper that has a whole bunch of boxes on it. And you're also looking for a blue paper that looks like this. Okay. After you get those out of your green folder, we are going to go to our interactive binder. And we're going to open it to our next page, which is page 12, which is right behind the purple page. We did mean, median, and mode in all of our landmarks. So when you get to page 12, you are going to, at the top, write the words variability and distribution. So that's how you spell it. Ooh, sorry guys, that's a little blurry. There we go. So variability and distribution. If you need to pause at any point, you pause. Okay, or you can always rewind a little bit. So at the top of page 12, we're writing variability and distribution. Okay? Now, see if I can get that refocused. Holy moly, that's really blurry. All right, so what you're going to do is you are going to cut around the dotted lines on your blue paper. You're going to cut this blue piece out. You are going to cut out these 4 boxes here. You're going to cut around the whole outside of this and then around the outside of this. So give me a minute. I'm going to show you what they look like. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you may pause this video so that you can see all the pieces frozen on the screen. But basically for your blue pieces, you wanted to cut around the outside. And for the other one, you wanted to cut around those 3 graphs. You wanted to cut out the 4 dotted lines here. You wanted to cut out the box that was at the bottom of that paper. And then in the middle, you wanted to keep that entire thing together. So that's what it should look like. Okay? All right. Hopefully you have all of those things cut out. At this point, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to flip this paper over, kind of like we did on that purple mean, median, mode paper. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to fold in all 4 of the sides. And it doesn't matter which ones you fold in first, okay? As long as you get all 4 of them folded so that we can open up and see all of those words. The other thing you're going to do is you are going to take this piece of paper here and you're going to fold on this line right there. So I'm going to fold it so that I can't see the words. And it's folded there on that solid line. Now, the first thing I'm going to do on my paper is I am going to put some glue on the back of this. And again, remember, at any point, you're welcome to pause. If I'm going too fast, you pause. Do what you need to, get caught up. So you're going to take this paper here and you are going to glue it on the top of where it says variability and distribution. We want to put it up here in the corner. Notice I have the whole rest of the space open because I need to fit a whole bunch of other things in there. You also have a blue paper, some graphs that look like this. We're going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of that. And we're going to glue that down up here. Now, the next thing we're going to glue down, we folded this piece of paper here. I'm going to fold it back so I can't see the words. And on this little strip here, I'm going to go ahead and put some glue. Okay? So just on this piece, whoop. Not an easy task, and you sometimes get glue places we don't want it. So make sure that if you do make a mess, Mom and Dad, I'm sure, would appreciate if you clean it up. So we're going to take this. And right underneath this blue foldable, I'm going to stick it underneath there. Because again, we're going to need to take some notes and fit them on the rest of my paper. Okay, so see how this is going to flip up and down like that? I'm going to fold this up. And underneath here, I'm going to put glue on the back of this big white piece of paper that has the 3 boxes and the notes underneath it. Put some glue on the back of that. Make sure it's going to stick. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that underneath here. Okay, now it does stick out a little bit on either side, but the goal would be that the lines kind of line up the best that they can here. It's not perfect. All right, so this kind of covers up this information here that we can lift it up. All right, we're going to take our scissors. We're going to cut on this line for outlier. We're going to cut on this line for distribution, and then it splits apart variability. Okay. Then the final thing we're going to do is we have a couple rectangular pieces of paper that look like this. We're going to go ahead and glue them in. So if I find the word, I'm looking for the word that says a cluster. Okay, a cluster is when the data seems to be gathered around a particular value or number. You may or may not have at some point in your life eaten a peanut cluster. A peanut cluster, or some other sort of chocolate, is a cluster of peanuts with chocolate around it. So they're all together, okay? So cluster is when you have a whole bunch of group together. So I'm going to find the cluster. I'm going to open it up, and my goal is I'm going to try to put it up here at the top. See how I have some extra space down here? And the reason for that is because when we get to this part of it a little bit later, we're going to actually draw a picture in there. Okay, for right now, we're just going to glue these in. Okay, I'm going to open up the next one, which is a peak. A peak is the most frequently occurring value or mode. So I'm looking for the one that looks like this. The most frequently occurring values or mode. I'm going to stick some glue on the back of that. And I'm going to stick it again here at the very tippy top. All right. We have a gap, okay? Sometimes when you lose your teeth, your front teeth, someone might say you have a gap in the middle of your teeth. And if there's a gap in our data, it means that there's a hole in our data. So the numbers that have no value or they have no data there. So sometimes we have dot plots where there's a big gap in between our data. So my numbers might go 1, 2, 3, and then maybe they'll jump the whole way up to 15. Okay, so when that happens, we say there's a gap in there. Again, I'm gluing it at the very tippy top so that I have some space. And then finally, the last word is symmetrical distribution. Hopefully you've heard the word symmetrical before. Symmetrical is like a butterfly. So if I draw a line right down the middle, and we're talking about graphs now, so if I draw a line right down the middle of my graph, I will find that I have a symmetrical distribution, and the left side looks just like the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that and put that in there. Okay. So that means we have the whole thing together. So again, I have everything put on here. I apologize, guys. It's a little out of focus now. And now I dropped my iPad, so that's even better. But we have everything here. I have my notes put in here, and everything is opened up and ready to go.